Tim here. Today, we're going to jump into this Airbnb issue that seems to have gone in all the wrong directions, from trampolines being dismantled to dirt bikes to too many people to all the things to a host that maybe should have been a little more proactive. I don't know. I want to know what you think in the comments, but right now, let's dive in. So, this host posts this on Facebook. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. I've been feeling increasingly frustrated with hosting Airbnb guests and am seriously considering switching to a long-term rental instead. Recently, I had a guest who booked the property for 7 people, but showed up with over 10, including 6 teenagers. I allowed them to bring their dirt bikes. Okay, that is sort of the first issue, right? Don't allow that, or don't let them ride on your property. They were supposed to stay within the property. Instead, they rode on the neighbor's private road. On the first night, they played loud music and partied until 1:30 a.m. Another issue. Second night, they stayed up till 12:30 and music stopped after I reached out at 11:30. Just first night shouldn't have even happened. Like, once that happens, they gotta go or they gotta stop, period. The next morning, sorry, I gotta stop interjecting my own thoughts here. The next morning, some of the kids dismantled my 14-foot trampoline. They dismantled your trampoline, and that's okay? Dragged it across a football field to the pool and used it to jump into the water. Yeah, I would have removed them. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to interject myself. I'm going to try not to. I have security cameras around the house, as stated in my listing, but I usually don't review the footage unless necessary. I happened to be on the property that day for maintenance on another house and saw what was happening. I spoke to the father, who told the kids to move the trampoline back. However, the mother, who booked the stay, complained that she wouldn't have rented the place if she knew, quote unquote, someone is watching over our every moves, claiming she thought that they had the entire property to themselves. Our ranch is 30 acres with livestock and requires active management. We have ranch managers occasionally access the other unit, not the one they rent, to perform tasks, which is clearly stated in the listing. It's incredibly frustrating when guests don't read the description and expect exclusive access to the entire land and facilities with nobody else around them. The experience has made me question whether I want to continue with Airbnb. I would really appreciate any advice and insights, as this situation has pushed me to the point of wanting to quit Airbnb altogether. Now, let's jump in and see what some other people had to say. First comment right off the bat. This is your fault. You allowed them to come with more people than the property was reserved for. You allowed them to get away with dirt bikes on your neighbor's property. You allowed them to get away with the first night of loud music. You allowed them to get away with another night of loud music, even after you messaged. And then you saw the pool incident and did nothing but speak to the father. Not sure what you really want us to say. You allowed this to happen, good luck. To which somebody responds, I disagree. I don't think the 3 extra people would have made a difference as to how the rental was treated. These were bad guests. That's not on the host. It's unfortunate for the host. To which that person responds, you have the right to your opinion, just as I have the right to mine. Carry on. Back to them. We're all adults here. No need for a mature, nasty attitude. Back to the other person. So says the one that's trying to chastise for having a difference of opinion. If you feel what I said was nasty and immature, that's a you problem. I stand on what I don't know. I said, you or no one else is going to change my mind. We could not even bring up any of the other comments and just roll with this one. We won't. I'll search. We'll see if we can find another one or two. But both of these people do have something to stand on, right? Because if a guest of ours had an issue was playing loud music that much the first night and it continued, that would be that, right? Like, you're disrespecting our neighbors, you're disrespecting our home. This is, I guess, the thing. Like, can you say go get a hotel? Maybe, but maybe not, because these aren't hotel guests either. But then the trampoline, no, you're going home. You're leaving the property. I'm calling Airbnb. You're out, right? Because that and the dirt bike, like, but at the same time, the host allowed them to bring their dirt bikes. So, yeah, I don't think the 3 extra guests is a big deal. The dirt bikes would have been a hard stop. The trampoline would have been a hard stop. The late music would have definitely been an email and a call. I don't know. What do you think about this? Tell me in the comments. But let's search for another one. So a lot of the comments, when we scroll through, a lot of them make sense. A lot of them are attacking the host. I don't think the host did anything terribly wrong. I think the host was just unsure how to handle it. It seems like she's new to the platform, and this just didn't go her way. Outside of that, the big thing, right, and people bring this up, is trampoline on your property. That sounds like a big liability. There are lots of ways for people to get hurt. Some people talk about getting IDs. Some people talk about, I don't know. There's just, these comments seem to always go down different wormholes, and then bring up other issues and other stories. But the big thing here from my standpoint was not being firm on your house rules, and when they were being broken, not standing by them, and that sort of lack of accountability. I also think these guests were completely disrespectful, and the parents, this is the other thing with kids, like I say this all the time. If I had my choice between somebody bringing a dog or somebody bringing kids to our rentals, I'm choosing the dog, because parents go on these stays and let their kids do whatever they want. It's like parents on vacation don't care what the kids are doing while I'm on my vacation. That is an issue. So it's a mix here on this one from me. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. But before we leave, this one person does go off on a story. Nothing to do with the post, but tells a story of her own. And I have to finish on that. In the meantime, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope your properties are doing good if you have them. And we're going to keep sharing some of these questions and stories and issues. But for now, let me just read this last one and then I'm out. Be well. So this is just a story that I have to share because it is really sort of an interesting one and things that happen. But again, a host sort of just not being present with their property and not, I don't know. It just seems weird. But anyways, we had a group of 5 in our 4-bedroom house. I specifically reminded them that sleeping on the couch was against the rules because it's cloth and it's in our home where we live. And then we leave and let people use our house one night a week. So I'm a little confused here. You have a cloth sofa that you're not allowed to sleep on. Why? Because you might drool. I don't drool. It's something I don't know. Why can't I sleep on a cloth sofa? I'm curious. I've slept on my cloth sofa. Anyways, they told us they would arrive at 9 p.m. I was clear that I would use the extra 5 hours to sleep in the morning instead of getting up at 4 a.m. to clean the house because it takes 12 hours. It takes 12 hours to clean the house? I mean, I hope you're charging people $2,000 a night then. At 5:30 p.m., they told us they wanted to arrive at 6:15. I wasn't even home. Why were you not home if it takes 12 hours to clean the house? You slept an extra 5 hours. I don't know. I'm interjecting myself again. Told them no, specifically, both on the site and in personal text. My husband let them in, even though I had already told them they could not arrive until at least 8:30. But they showed up at 6:15 anyways. The message was read. They just ignored it. Of course they did. They just want to get in. They're traveling like they booked your place. Our shower over tub uses 2 curtains. Apparently these guys had never taken showers before because they didn't put one or even both curtains inside the bathtub. Honest mistake maybe. Maybe they just didn't know. They were both outside, so the bathroom was flooded. And while LVP, which laminate vinyl plank flooring is what I'm going with, supposed to be waterproof, I just finished retiling the tub and it's not caulked along the floor line. So I probably have to rip out the floor because I'm sure that there was water underneath the LVP. You didn't finish tiling the tub if you didn't caulk around the floor line, and why didn't you caulk around the floor line? Okay, it smelled like poop when I got home from being out of town 2 nights later. Because you were out of town, it smelled like poop? Or poop because somebody pooped at the party because of party poopers? I don't know. They managed to lock themselves out of the ensuite bathroom before anybody had a chance to shower in there. Okay, so that means 5 people showered in the bathroom with the curtain on the outside of the tub. All the towels were definitely used, but not to absorb the water on the floor. But the thick bath mat was absolutely saturated. I'm thinking I might just have to tile the floor, which means I have to rip out the baseboard tile. I have only 2 things that people need to do before they leave. One is lock the doors, the other is to put the towels in the hall bathtub. Towels were left in each bedroom, including a pretty damp towel on a cloth couch. Oh, there's the cloth couch again. Maybe that's why we can't sleep on it, because we might get damp. The back door was standing wide open when we arrived home 2 days later. It was standing? But here's the piece de résistance. Are we in French? France? One of the bedrooms has the ability to cast to the TV. It does not have an ensuite bathroom, so whoever stayed in that room went into the bathroom and got paper towels and left said used paper towels in the bedroom on the small table in front of the TV. Okay, curious here, but not. So my husband and I came to the conclusion that they either broke the rules for having food in the room, and I don't think that's the case because they didn't come in with any food, or the guy maybe jacked off and left paper towels for me to clean up. There's a garbage can in the room. He couldn't put his paper towels in the garbage can 5 feet away. Maybe it was something more innocent. But since it was in front of the TV, just ew. Maybe it was something more innocent. You don't know. You don't know. So we have 3 garbage cans. Actually 4 if you count the one in the garden compost. For the garden compost. That doesn't count, by the way. Garbage that should have been in the compost within the recycling can. Plastic bottles were in the one for the aluminum, and nothing was in the actual garbage can. And, brace yourselves, people, somebody slept on the couch. The thing was, they were super nice, and we had the very embarrassing experience of having a huge sideshow happen about a block and a half from our house that night. What is a sideshow? Can somebody tell me in the comments? It's never happened before. I mean, there are sideshows in the town, but nothing of this magnitude, or anywhere near our house. So I actually offered them 50% off night because in the middle of the summer it decided to rain, which it never does here. And the reason they came was for a balloon ride. And their balloon ride was canceled due to moisture in the air. I felt terrible that the sideshow and the balloon ride basically wasted their money. But then when we got home and so many things were wrong, that I'll write on the review on the 14th day, that I'll write a review on the 14th day, and I'm going to hope to God they never try to cash in on that 50% off thing. Any one of those things wouldn't have been a big deal, but there were so many of them. Ultimately, they were only in my house for 13 hours. I'm so glad it wasn't a week. Yeah, I have so many things I want to say here, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna leave it at this. I'd love to know what you think about this and also the real issue that we posted about with the trampoline people and the dirt bike things and the immature and the parents who just don't care. But I sort of want to know what you think about this too. Anyways, for now, I'm out.